Welcome back, everybody. We're about to hop into our first adventure of the night, which I've entitled Making Deliveries. But before we do so, as always, you're going to take a brief moment and introduce our characters. So, without further ado, let's just start moving down the line. First up, we have Serena returning. Serena, would you, how are you doing? Would you care to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I'm really doing wonderful. Lucy, beside me, as you can see, she's
Yes.
quite big now. She actually reaches up to my waist right now.
Oh wow, Lucy
Yeah,
has gotten huge.
Yeah, Lucy's been eating really well lately.
What about Mike? Is Mike also this big, or is Mike still the same size?
No. Mike's a little small today, actually. He's about the size of like he's like, what could I compare him to? He's like the size of a mouse, I guess.
I mean, that's still a pretty large spider, and up to your waist for a spider is, I think, I think for most people's opinions, would be considered terrifying. But of course, Serena, that's not how you feel.
Of course not. Spiders are my friends.
Yes, and I would have it no other way. And of course, I think it's adorable as well. And
thank you.
Is there any tricks to any, potential spider breeders out there that want to see the kind of growth that you have in your spiders? Or is it just kind of something that's native to the breed?
I guess it comes with worshipping Loth.
Oh, I guess that makes a lot of sense. And would you recommend the worship of Loth to all, I would imagine?
I do, actually. I personally am not very comfortable with the whole wishy-washy murder carnage stuff that a lot of Loth followers focus on. I'm more focused on the spider aspect of Loth, where I just want everybody to realize, like, spiders are our friends. They, they're vicious, but who isn't?
I mean, yeah, I think I would argue that most humanoid races are equally or more vicious than spiders in a lot of cases.
Exactly.
Well, very good, Serena. It is good to have you back once more. Welcome.
Thank you.
And next we have another returning adventurer. We have Runefang. Runefang, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also doing very well. Runefang, how are you faring after your first adventure in the lands of D&D time?
Oh, that was fun. I want to do that again.
I admire that kind of can-do, forward-thinking spirit and adventure. A lot of Bartholomew's adventures, I would say, have one adventure and then think to themselves, "Yeah, no, this isn't for me." You can tell someone is destined for good things when they're ready to dive right back into the fray, so to speak.
How often do you get to top of the trash mountain?
I mean, I think the answer to that question is exactly one time. I don't think that's something that could ever happen again.
You never know. They might rebuild it.
And Runefang, of course, you are a worshipper of Bahamut.
Yes.
How has you've been training, obviously, around here to improve your strength in order to better serve Bahamut. Have you made any strides in that regard?
Yes, I have. I've gotten a little stronger since 2 weeks ago when the trash mountain came down.
Yes, I imagine an experience like that would be certainly enough to improve your skills. You definitely saw some things you hadn't before. And to what of Bahamut's doctrines are what are most important to you? Obviously, you believe in I imagine good, as Bahamut does. But what is it about Bahamut that kind of drew you in, Runefang?
His domain of protection. I want to protect my family and provide for them.
Indeed. And I imagine with the money and resources that you will accrue through here, you will eventually be able to. It is good to have you back, Runefang.
Thank you.
And just so you know, your mic sounded just a little bit muted. I don't know if there's anything you can do to fix that in the meanwhile.
Yeah, Discord's screwing up on my computer, so I gotta.
Okay. If you end up relogging, I can just move you back up. Let me know. And next we have Lily of the Trash Kingdom. Lily, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks for asking. How are you?
I am very well. Are you happy to hear that your home is safe once more?
Absolutely. We fought really hard to try to keep that place intact.
Indeed. It was inspiring to see how not just you and the fellow adventurers, but every member of the Trash Kingdom kind of banded together to protect their home. It felt like it was very much a community.
Oh, indeed, the Trash Kingdom's amazing. I think a lot of people don't realize just how important it is.
Indeed, I absolutely agree. And Lily, now that your home is no longer in danger, I'm interested. What is it about Bartholomew's adventuring troupe that kind of attracted you in the first place? Well, why is it that you like adventuring?
Well, I always kind of wanted to see more of the world and learn a bit more about it. I mean, I've only really ever seen the Trash Kingdom, and I know how important it is, but it's kind of nice to see on its impact on the world around it.
Indeed. I guess everything, I guess it goes very well into the theme of the Trash Kingdom, which is that as much as it's called the Trash Kingdom, everything there is reused in very good ways and put to great effect. So Lily, I guess tonight's adventure will be perfect for that, as I believe that you will be sent all around the land of D&D time over the course of this one adventure.
Oh, perfect. I'm excited.
Very good. Lily, welcome. And last but not least, we have a completely new adventurer here in the land of D&D time. We have here, and tell me if I pronounce anything incorrectly, but it looks like Clara Palewing. Is that correct?
Yes, that is very much correct.
Excellent. Clara, would you care to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I started in a small town, visit the local church, met the clerics, and they introduced me to the deity Celeste, so I decided to join in.
Oh, very good. Your deity is Celeste. What kind of deity is Celeste? What domain would Celeste fall under?
Natural good. Her domains are life and light, as I should recall.
Very good. So you believe in preserving and creating light. Or,
Yes.
and I'm sorry, I meant to say life, but I guess light as well in this particular instance.
Yes, very much so.
And if I'm not mistaken, you are an Aarakocra.
Yes, and as I should recall, our race is known for being mostly on the good side.
Indeed. So you definitely believe in the moral good, but I for anyone who is unaware, an Aarakocra is this very interesting hybrid of a humanoid and a bird. Is there any particular bird that you would say that you share heritage with, or is it just kind of you just kind of look like a lot of the other Aarakocra, the kind of typical?
Peregrine falcon.
Oh, so you have a lot of the aspects of the falcon about you. I imagine you're pretty. I imagine you're pretty fast in the sky.
Yes.
Very good. Well, Clara, I'm excited to see what you're able to do throughout the land of D&D time. Welcome.
Thank you.
And without further ado, let us get into our adventure, which begins in Bartholomew's shop. Who, as you all enter, he greets you. Greetings, adventurers, and kind of gestures for you all to move closer. It is good to see you all here. We have an adventure today of dire importance. And as you look at Bartholomew, he seems a little bit kind of sleepy. He has some kind of heavy bags under his eyes, and he's kind of like leaning on the counter. Usually stands, if not straight, at least without any support. But today he's kind of leaning over as you all walk in, and Bartholomew continues to speak to you. Today, as you are all aware, is Labor Day, and well, as you know, here in the land of D&D time, Labor Day is where the vast majority of babies are delivered to their future parents. It is, of course, how it got the name Labor Day. It is a day, of labor. So the various storks of the world have to go about and fly delivering babies, and it is a very important assignment. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sleepy. It is a very important assignment, and I guess apparently one of these storks is injured and will need some help making their deliveries. Do you think you can accompany them? and you see kind of out of the back now you see there is a kind of a very tall white stork. It's about Bartholomew's height, with kind of the long beak forward, and it has two wings, but one of its legs appears to be kind of bandaged up and with kind of like a cast on it, and it kind of speaks to you. Yeah, you see, the thing is I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get inside a lot of the buildings. I can bring these little tykes around, and he's got a bag on his back, and you can hear kind of the sounds of crying coming from within it, as it appears to be several babies rested within. I got these tykes in here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get into the buildings. I just got to have you all deliver them to the beds, if that's going to be okay, you think?
Well, I should be able to fit in some of the smaller buildings.
Why, of course.
Very good. In that case, it is a pleasure if you could meet Clarence. Clarence, these are the adventurers. This is Clarence the Stork.
Hello.
Clarence.
Oh, it's great. It's great to meet y'all. I guess we better get moving. Do you want to? So I assume all of you can fly, right? I don't know if I have room to. I don't know if I have room to carry all of you on my back. Just room for babies mostly.
The
letter said nothing about flying.
So I don't think you have to worry about that.
Oh yeah, of course. So you got wings there. That's going to be great for this. But the rest of you, I don't know how you're gonna. And as he's kind of in mid-sentence, all of you start to feel something very strange happen. You feel suddenly a little bit weak and woozy. And Bartholomew, who is leaning on the counter, kind of leans up and looks at you in a state of confusion. And then that confusion transitions into a look of shock and a little bit of horror, as all of you feel your bodies start to change and shift a little bit. And your clothes seem to feel a little bit tighter for a moment, and then they loosen up again, and the room starts to grow larger. But really, you find yourselves growing smaller. As you look at each other, your skin grows more and more youthful and kind of puffy. And after a couple of moments, all of you find yourselves transformed into babies.
Whoa.
Well, this is odd. I haven't been this small in months.
And Bartholomew looks, this was not my magic that did this. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, dear. I assume that all of you must have been aware as you went through this period of time, but for anyone who isn't, for some odd reason, in the land of D&D time, of course, people under a certain age are unable to die. Which is very good, as it allows every child a fighting chance at life, which is an interesting thing. However, there are some who have taken advantage of that. And one of them is a young, well, baby by the name of Gemery. He, every year around this time, when his magic is at its most powerful, well, he tries to take over the world. And, well, it seems that I forgot to stop him this particular time.
I feel fluffy.
Yes. Well...
So we gotta stop him?
No. No. We still need to deliver these babies as well. And Clarence kind of looks at you and goes, well, yeah, I still kind of need y'all to go ahead and deliver those babies, but, you know, I guess I can carry you now, so that'd be great, because you look like babies, just like the ones I got on my back. And you see he's got 3 babies in kind of like little chairs, and there are spaces for more, which you're welcome to hop onto now.
Yay!
I will get to the bottom of this. I'm certain we can find some other adventurers last minute who can go and perhaps put a stop to this dastardly plot, but it is still very important that these babies get to where they are going.
But wait, is there any way to reverse this?
Well, I think we're going to have to look into that. But for now, let us, why don't you just go about your adventure, and hopefully being a baby does not infringe upon that too much.
Vote for me. I've always been cute.
You
I
can
hope I can
trust
still
us.
fly.
And the Clarence kind of looks, oh, aren't all of you just absolutely adorable? That's just great. Okay, well, I guess we'll be off then. Is everyone ready to go?
Yep.
Was Mike or Lucy shrunk as well?
Lucy is absolutely also kind of a baby version of Lucy that is still very large, like comparatively still up to your now baby waist, but significantly smaller. And Lucy kind of looks up to you with those adorable eyes that you haven't seen since Lucy first hatched. Mike as well.
Okay. Lucy and Mike are just gonna follow her up onto that.
All right. And as they kind of do so, you watch as Clarence kind of like shakes his leg a little bit. Oh, I got some spiders trying to get on me. I don't know about that. Don't know about any of that at all. If you could, maybe. What did you do?
Oh, they're okay. They're not gonna hurt you.
I don't know. They look like some pretty big spiders on my legs right now. So.
Oh, it's okay. Don't. It's okay. Don't worry.
Okay. And he stands like perfectly still as they move up and onto over to next to you, and you now look around kind of the little section that you're in. I got 3 deliveries to make tonight on this Labor Day evening, so let's get about it. Everyone strapped in, and there's very kind of simple seat belts on the little kind of saddle that he has on his back. Very good. And with that, he kind of steps out, hobbling on the one leg that isn't kind of hurt, out of Bartholomew's shop, and then spreads the wings out and begins to fly up into the air. You all feel a lurch as you're rushed into the sky. And as of course, this is how the majority of babies in the land of D&D time are delivered, is via stork. This is a little bit familiar to all of you, as this is possibly how you came into the world, although that's not a 100%. And as you look around, you can see that the sky here on this Labor Day evening is entirely filled with storks flying about, wearing kind of similar staddles as they're all going about their business of delivering children throughout the land of D&D time. And you also see 3 other babies in the kind of saddle with you that are locked in, these presumably being the babies you're meant to deliver. You see one of them is appears to be a gnomish baby, which is kind of humming to itself a little bit, just and one of them is a human baby, but he's kind of rotund, and he's wearing kind of a rough white tank top and a kind of a regular pair of pants, and he looks up to you guys as you hop in the cart and he goes, "Hey, what's going on?" And the third baby appears to be a lizard folk baby, which is kind of distracted, just kind of trying to like catch a fly with its tongue that's flying about, buzzing about its head. And Clarence speaks up to you in the back of the thing and goes, "All right, then I guess our first stop's going to be over by Sokotoa. That's the Trigonome capital, and I think that's where we're going to want to drop off this little gnome fella right here. Got an address for him. So I'm going to bring y'all over to the destination, and I'm going to need all of you to make sure he gets into a bed. That's how you know our deliveries are done. Just once they get into any bed, it's fine, and, well, he'll be the responsibility of whoever is in that domicile from that point forward."
Alrighty.
All right.
And The stork kind of flies with a pretty incredible pace, and it's also an extremely beautiful view. As you pass over the land of D&D time, you can see the tall buildings of Central City, and not too far away from that, SOHCAHTOA looming in the distance. And as he kind of turns and arcs his wings slowly, he glides towards the gnomish capital of SOHCAHTOA, where he eventually kind of flies in. You can see various storks kind of hopping down to ground level, or to or to various doors or open windows. But the building that he seems to land on for this child is it looks to be a factory. There are a couple of big smokestacks leaning up outside, and you're of course aware that the Trigognomes of SOHCAHTOA are known for their particular scientific abilities and their incredible production facilities, and this appears to be one of them. And he goes, it's a little bit strange, as he kind of steps down on top of the building. It looks like this little tyke's going into this here factory. Not sure what that is. Maybe his mom or his pop lives in here or something along those lines. Couldn't say, but I'll let you all take it from here. And you're now just standing on the roof, and the stork kind of unbuckles the belt on the gnomish baby, who kind of looks at all of you and just goes, "Hi there.
Hello.
I guess I'm gonna meet my mommy and daddy today, so that's gonna be exciting. I've been struggling. Yeah, I've been struggling with a few algebra problems that I've been working out in my head, so I hope they already know those."
Well, I'm sure they'll know real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Order of operations is a little bit tricky. So how do we go? How do we go in?
Is there a window?
Right now you're on the roof. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Presuming I can find that button. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. All right. As you're kind of looking around the space, you see there isn't a window. The building on the outside has several windows, but most of them seem kind of locked down and relatively dark on the inside. And from where you're on the roof, you don't see any kind of staircase that seems to lead down to them. You do see a few air vents. You can see a door on top of the building that kind of leads to, like a raised platform that would be a roof access point going in. But the door looks a lot too tall for you to reach in your baby form without some kind of trick.
Ooh, I got a trick.
And there's also like an air vent that looks like you could use as another option. So what do you all want to do?
Let's try the door first.
Let's look at the height I used to when I was this. Hunkers
very
down and jump.
Oh yes, of course. You have incredible jumping height. So you don't even need to, I don't even think you need to roll for that. You just kind of duck down, bend your knees, and push off with your bunny folk legs as you kind of wander over to this door. You fly not nearly as high as you're used to, but high enough to grab onto the door handle and latch on. And it's the door handle itself. It seems pretty heavy. Right now, you're just kind of hanging onto it and kind of dangling off the door handle, but you can't quite generate the strength to turn it at the moment. What is everyone else doing?
I wonder if I can help pull him.
Yeah, you could maybe, if you want to grab onto his legs to add some extra weight, that's something that you could probably do.
Try fly pulling.
Oh yes, because you can fly. Oh, this is a very good group for this particular task. And so you kind of fly up and grab onto the legs, and you have your now very tiny fledgling wings that are flapping behind you, pulling. I would like you to make me a strength check with advantage, Clara.
All right. Which dice is that for?
So where your strength score appears on the left side of your character sheet, where it says 12, I want you to click the word strength, right there.
Okay.
There you go. So 13. All right. Or you have advantage because you're being helped by Runefang, who's already holding the doorknob. So 19. So Runefang, you have a firm grip on it, and then you start to feel like just a force kind of grabbing onto your legs, and you hold on, and very slowly the doorknob kind of clinks and turns to the side, and the door swings open with you kind of on it. You jump down agilely as a little bunny folk, able to do so. And the path is open to you. And the little trigonome goes, "Wow, that was like really incredible. You guys are amazing babies."
Why, thank you.
I used to do this as a child. I used to do this when I was this years ago. Oh,
You're gonna be amazing too.
Oh, really? You
They're all gonna be
really
wonderful.
think so? Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. I've never had anyone say anything like that to me before. I've only heard like 5 things. And he kind of starts kind of crawling over towards the now revealed staircase. And he kind of like looks at the staircase and looks down and goes, "That looks kind of hard to go down." And it is a little bit daunting, maybe not for those of you who can jump very high or fly, but the staircase ahead in your baby forms does look pretty intimidating.
Perhaps I can carry our gnome friend up to the top.
I might have an idea.
What are you thinking lately?
She's going to cast Entangle on the stairs, but she's gonna try to make the vines grow kind of like straight and like all going like downward, so it's like a slide made out of vines. Is that something I
awesome.
can do with that spell?
Absolutely. I'll say in this case, you definitely can. As you make it kind of into this slide-like shape, because I think even if it wasn't a slide, it would be very cushiony. So yeah, you absolutely make this kind of entangle of vines that will make it a lot easier to traverse down. And the little gnome goes, "Can I go down?"
Let's all go.
And he kind of crawls over to it and kind of flops onto his little gnomish belly and starts to slide down. He just goes, "Whoa!" and gets down to the bottom where the vines level out. And you have moved down to the bottom of the stairs. All of you are welcome to go down this way if you wish.
I could go down the fun way.
that looked like fun.
Yes, as he said.
Lily just jumps on the slide.
Whee!
All right. Yes, you all.
Runefang jumps after.
Runefang
jumped right on.
and Lily.
Serena is gonna hold her spiders close to her chest and go down, like, slowly.
I do a belly
Excellent.
slide.
You do kind of like the butt scoot down, Serena. Kind of stopping yourself so you're not moving too fast, trying to protect your spiders. You do the butt slide as you proceed down and reach the bottom, and you now see you're in kind of an open corridor, and you're now just kind of have a little bit of a ways where you're walking along an overlook of what looks like a really elaborate factory, and in this factory it seems like they build cars here, and you can hear like heavy machinery operating and moving, and you can see parts being assembled below. But this kind of balcony overhang leads ahead to a room, and that room appears to be that of a child. And there is a crib that is all set up above. There's like a little mobile that has various cars of different sizes that are kind of spinning and making just kind of a very calm, lullaby-ish noise. And he kind of looks over to you. I gotta get up in the bed to go and take my nap time, but I think this is for me, right? He looks at you. What do you guys do? This appears to be the bed that you're supposed to deliver this child to.
Well, I can carry him on top of the bed and help him.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit tough because it's pretty heavy for you to lift a whole baby as a baby.
In which case, can I cast guidance?
Absolutely. So you cast guidance upon Clara. As Clara kind of, are you going to hook on to the back of the little T-shirt that the baby's wearing?
I could just grapple onto his arms and try to carry him up.
Okay, yeah. So you grab, you kind of wrap the claws around the arms, obviously avoiding, the claws scratching him, and go and fly up. I need you to make me an athletics check, and you can add a d4 to the result because you've been guided. Is there anything else that anyone else wants to do to try and help this situation, make it a little bit easier?
Oh. Grimfang will jump up into the bed and try and to help.
All right, cool. So you're kind of you pretty easily jump up onto the edge of the crib and get ready to kind of pull him up over by the hands, much like he did for you before on the doorknob when you get through. All right, in that case, make me an athletics check, Clara.
That's dexterity, right?
Plus strength in this case.
Oh, okay.
If you just click the word athletics where it appears on your character sheet, it should just roll it for you with all the relevant modifiers.
Okay.
Ten. All right. You're flapping your little wings and you're moving up, and you're almost kind of moving in place. Well, actually, you still have the D4 to add, so roll me a D4 as well. The way you do that is you type /roll and then space and then D4, so like that. Or I guess it would be like what I just did. There we go. Great. So 2. So a 12. Never mind. I take it back. You're flapping and you're struggling, and your little tiny wings are pushing you up and up and up, while you're kind of barely supporting the weight of this thing. But you remember the guidance of Lily, and right as you get to the top, Runefang grabs onto your hands and pulls you into the crib, and the little gnomish boy bounces a few times into it, and he kind of goes, "Thank you. But I'm a little bit tired. I'm just gonna go. And he just kind of falls almost instantly asleep once he hits the crib. And you have successfully cleared the first of your 3 deliveries, and you are able to freely hop back up out the way that you came in, and you are brought over to. Clarence, or he flies back down over to you, and he goes, "All right, you guys did great on that one. Why don't you hop on, and I'll bring you to the next delivery. Looks like we're heading over to Central City, not too far away. So, want to hop back on?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
It looks like we got a baby Mort here that's going to be heading over there. And as you hop onto, as you kind of hop onto the back of the stork and buckle yourselves back in, you see that baby who was wearing the tank top and had almost 5 o'clock shadow as a baby, looks over at all of you and goes, "Yeah, I guess it's me next. Can't wait to meet mommy and daddy. Been looking forward to it for a very long time. My entire life."
You have a very deep voice for a baby.
Yeah, just the voice I was given. I guess I don't have too much fucking control over it,
Yeah.
Lily just kind of elbows whoever's sitting beside her and goes,
Just wait until he hits puberty.
I guess
Oh god, I don't want to go through that again.
that's kind of scary. Right now, I'm really just kind of thinking about getting myself a nice bottle, getting in that crib, and just crashing, mellowing out, That's what I'm about, at least. And Clarence continues to fly over the cityscape. You can now see yourselves being turned and redirected towards Central City, where Clarence kind of leans down and brings you over to a fairly unassuming looking house. And he kind of looks up, he kind of looks over at the group of you and goes, "All right, looks like this is the place. Get this little guy in there, huh?"
Okie dokie.
The door is slightly creaked open, and there's only a single step, so it looks like this is going to be a lot easier to get into. You kind of hop down, and that Mort kind of unfastens himself, and he looks over at you. "All right, let's get in there. Meet my makers, so to speak, huh?
Yeah.
Any protocol on this, or should I go first, or you go first, or?
Let's go first and make sure it's safe.
Yes.
Okay, I'll follow right behind then. And you step ahead, and you open the door. Before you, you can just see kind of a simple hallway, and that's it. You just see a hallway. There's a door that leads to your right into the house, that leads to the right into the house, and one that leads to the left, deeper in. You can't quite see what's beyond those thresholds because you're looking at a hallway. But no one appears to be in it.
All right, let's get this done.
All right, you continue forward. What are your passive perceptions?
11 for Runefang.
Okay.
14.
14. Wow.
14 as well.
Okay. And if you're not already aware, your passive perception is going to be underneath your skills. There'll be a thing that says passive wisdom and then parentheses perception with a number there. Clara?
Okay. 15.
Oh, it's not the roll. So for you, you have a +3, so the passive would be 13 for you. So this is just kind of like what your ambient senses are when you're not actively kind of focusing on it. And as you're kind of walking, you as well as Serena and Lilili all kind of hear a movement, and you hear a voice kind of coming from deeper in. Just, hey, I think I hear something. And you hear another voice go, well, go check it out. And that voice goes, oh, wait a minute. Tonight's Labor Day, isn't it? And he kind of moves out into the, moves out from one of those kind of side rooms into the space. And you see what looks like just a fully grown version, who the face looks almost identical to this baby, who kind of looks weirdly like a middle-aged man. But you see this other middle-aged man kind of looks down at the group of you and goes, oh man, oh no, nope, not taking any, don't want them, nope, no babies. And the little kind of guy who is kind of leaning in and waiting to go into the house goes, Dad, it's me, I'm home. And he just goes, not for here, not today, not coming in, don't want a kid, all set, thank you. What do you all do?
She does look like you. As Runefang points over to the kid.
Okay. And he goes, don't think so, no resemblance, I don't see it. And the kid goes, come on, Dad, I need my diaper changed. Let me in there. I'm going to need you all to get out right now, or I'm going to go ahead and throw you right out of my house.
Wait, just 1 minute. Are you a responsible man?
No.
Ugh. Well, then I guess I can't trust you to be a real man, and maybe we'll find parents for this baby who don't smell bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, sure. And you see at this point, Clarence kind of pokes his head in and goes, hey, what's taking so long in there?
I think we got a problem. These dingbats aren't fit to be parents.
I mean,
Yeah, he doesn't want them.
I mean, there's not a lot they can do about it. I mean, the kid's got to go here. That's where he's supposed to be delivered.
Isn't there anybody else who really wants a baby?
I mean, if he's here, then that means he wanted a baby. I don't know why he's backing out of it now, and maybe he had some second thoughts, but this kid's got to go here. I got nowhere else I can bring him. We got babies going all over the place. Can't just throw another one to someone else who didn't ask for a baby. This big guy in front of you starts kind of walking forward. All right, listen, you little guys. I'm going to go ahead and pick you up and just move you straight out of the house. And that's going to be the end of this. And he kind of starts moving towards you. And as he kind of starts walking towards you, you kind of hear the heavy footsteps upon the ground, and you look up at this adult that is towering over you, and you feel kind of a sense of hopelessness that you've never felt kind of since your since your childhood, where you realize that, wow, in baby form, we are probably absolutely no match for just any adult, despite being adventurers, as this giant starts stepping towards you, getting ready to throw you out of his home. What do you all do?
You're the real baby
I
here,
fi-
mister.
I fly up.
Okay. The little kind of tiny Mort baby runs over and goes, "I'm gonna make a run for it. I'm going for that crib, wherever it is." And he starts kind of ducking and running down the hallway up ahead. I think at this point, I'd like you guys to roll for initiative. That should be public every time. There we go. Very good. So the 7. So this guy's, with your kind of baby legs, despite being small, you are at least a little bit more agile. What do you all wish to do as the first in the initiative? I guess in this instance is going to be you, Serena. Ooh, struggle with my audio.
Shouldn't it be Lily?
Oh, did I read it wrong? Yes, you're correct. I'm sorry. Lily, what do you wish to do?
All right. I haven't had time to think about this. Bear with me for a second.
Fair enough.
Okay. Lily is going to use. Hold on, sorry. I'm not prepared.
No problem.
Aha. She is going to cast Longstrider on the baby they're trying to deliver.
Awesome. So you watch his kind of baby legs, which are barely kind of crawling him forward. As you Longstrider, he was just crawling, but then he kind of like stands up and almost gains the ability to walk, as he's now walking at a reasonable pace, moving forward. I love that.
Go, go, go! You can do it!
What about anything else on your turn?
I don't know if I have anything I would like to do as a bonus action, so that might be it for me. So let me double check real quick. Yeah, that'll be it for my turn.
Very good. In that case, Serena, what do you wish to do?
Serena is going to draw Shishio
Okay, cool.
and as the lion roars, she's going to roar along with it, trying to keep his attention on them.
Okay. And that also has like a frightened mechanic or something like that, doesn't it?
It makes it so that I get advantage on intimidation rolls.
Okay. Go ahead and make me, in that case, an intimidation check with advantage. He kind of looks down at you, and as he leans forward, you pull up a sword and he goes, "I mean, come on, that's pretty adorable. The baby, whoa. Hey, that could actually hurt if you hit me with that. That would actually hurt." And he kind of takes a single step backwards, as he's now kind of confused, looking down at this strangely threatening baby. Excellent. Anything else on your turn?
All right.
Would she be able to run up to him and smack the handle against his toe?
Yeah, you can. You can move up to him, but it would probably have to wait until next turn to make the attack.
Okay.
Very good. In that case, that is going to bring us to Runefang. What do you wish to do?
I'm good! As he draws his sword.
All right, you pull out the sword.
and I will move up to him.
All right, and you move up the distance, which was only about 10 or so feet, but just kind of the way you guys are moving in these baby forms, that seems to be about your full movement. And you pull out the sword, and you're right up around his ankles. What do you want to do?
Well, if I can, I'd love to stab him in the ankle.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. Very good. That is decidedly going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage on that. As you stab down into his foot, he just kind of goes like, that actually like hurt a little bit. He doesn't seem like, if you hit someone with that attack normally, that would have probably taken you could have probably taken their foot off with that if you wanted to. But just in this baby form, he's just kind of like, hey, stop it. And he kind of like leans down, or actually before you go, that's next going to be Clara, who you said you were kind of flying up. What do you want to do, Clara?
I'm gonna try to use my light crossbow.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Like, can I choose where to hit?
Yeah, if you want to like aim somewhere on the person's body, it may have additional effects, especially given the circumstances. So go ahead and make an attack roll with disadvantage if you want to make it a called shot. I'll say that you can do that.
I want to hit the knee.
All right, go for it. 15. All right. Go ahead and roll damage. And sorry, the way you roll damage is by clicking the word light crossbow where it appeared in chat.
Okay.
So 5 points of piercing damage. The bolt kind of flies out, and you're kind of looking at this non-magical weapon. It almost seems like the weapon itself, when you became a baby, like the bolts that you're putting in seem to be almost made of foam now. And as it hits him, it impacts on the knee, and he kind of goes like, and he kind of like grunts in pain, and you see him topple for a moment and kind of wobble and actually fall down onto that knee, just kind of narrowly dodging, crushing you, Runefang, who's very close. He goes, "Oh God damn it! Oh, jeez! Oh!" And now he's just kind of like grabbing his knee in kind of pain, and he's going to
language.
He's going to grab onto. He's going to actually grab onto you, Runefang, and he's just going to try and toss you out. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check, contested by his strength.
Acrobatics.
That shouldn't have been with advantage. That's an 8. Oh, that 8 is not going to do it. He just takes you by your kind of like rabbit body. He can grab you in one hand, and he just kind of throws you out the door over towards near where Clarence is, who's kind of still hobbling on one leg. He looks very uncomfortable, and he looks at you and just goes, "Oh man, are you okay?" You kind of wobble backwards a little bit as you're kind of tossed onto the streets, and it doesn't hurt as badly as you thought it was going to, just being tossed onto the stone like such a great distance, and you kind of remember like, oh yeah, this is what it was like when it was a kid. This is the kind of natural protection that kids have in this world.
Oh, I love being real small.
And you just kind of bounce around a little bit, and you are a little bit stunned, but otherwise okay. And the little tiny person who's been long striding away is now at the end of the hallway and is like turning into the side room, and the large individual who is this bigger Mort kind of looks back and just goes, "No, not the bed!" And points at it. That's going to bring us to the top of the initiative. What do you want to do, Lily?
Lily is going to pull out her broken can opener scimitar and take a swing at his ankle.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll. And roll damage, because that definitely hits. You guys are rolling nice on these. 4. Stop it, please, stop! As you kind of hit him in the ankle with the scimitar, and he kind of like, he kind of like is now just, he was already grabbing onto the knee pretty ferociously, so the ankle that was kind of, he was supporting himself on collapses, and he just kind of falls forward on his face.
Papas are supposed to love their babies.
That's going to bring us to. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else on your turn?
No, that's all I'd like to do. Thank you.
Excellent. That is going to bring us to Serena. What do you want to do?
Serena is going to climb up onto his back and like smack the like back of his neck with her handle, the handle of her sword.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll. We'll just say it deals bludgeoning damage instead of the regular type for this attack roll. And 12 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage on that. 5. So you kind of bring the handle down onto his back and just slap him with the handle, and just and he's starting to look like really furious as all of these babies are just beating him up. Anything else on your turn, Serena?
I'm gonna tell the my Lucy to move beside it in front of his face.
Okay. So, oh god. So Lucy, this very large spider, kind of just wraps around, tarantula-sized at your current height, kind of goes around and just kind of climbs onto his face. And very much like one of the burglars from Home Alone, you see him just kind of start screaming as his eyes are kind of narrowed in towards the spider that is now upon his face. He's absolutely terrified. Anything else on your turn?
That's everything.
All right. Brunfang.
Well, I'm gonna shake my head to get rid of the dizziness and then try and run towards his face.
All right. He threw you far enough away, so it's going to be your full movement to get back to him. So you can take your turn to get back up to where he was if you want to.
Yep.
All right, cool. So you're now kind of right back in the zone as he's kind of now completely collapsed upon the ground. As we move back to as we move back to Clara. Clara, what do you want to do? Clara?
I want to use Sacred
great.
Flame on his Wait, what type of pants is he wearing?
He's just wearing kind of like, they're pants. They're regular kind of khaki pants.
Are they flammable?
Yeah, they're cloth, so.
I want to cast Sacred Flame on them.
All right, go ahead and, or he makes a dexterity saving throw, I believe. So 7, he's going to fail. Go ahead and roll damage on that for me. Just great, 3 points of radiant damage. You watch as the flame was not as big as you remember it being when you've cast it in the past, but this little kind of spark lights on the side of his pants, and he kind of like reaches his hand down towards it and kind of like scratches the area looking confused. Like it's definitely lit the pants, but it's not quite spread all around him yet. And so it'll take a little while for that to completely take effect. And on his turn, he is going to, for one thing, grab, he's going to, for one thing, just try and like throw Lucy off his face. Do you have a stat block up for Lucy?
I do, yes.
I need Lucy to make a strength save. That is not going to do it, and I will change it such that it is now, it is no longer to GM. Very good. So that was an 8 for everyone. That is not quite enough, and he kind of shakes his head around a bunch, and Lucy just gets kind of like thrown over to the side, striking down to the ground, and is going to take, oh, not 16, well. We'll get there one day. Is going to take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as Lucy gets flung at a wall and then kind of drops down to the ground. And at this point, he kind of stands up. And also I need you, Serena, to make me a strength save as well as you're trying to hold on as he stands up. Unless you just let yourself fall off.
I know, she's gonna try and hold on.
All right, so make me a strength save. And you succeed. You're kind of now on this guy's shoulders as he kind of turns and starts moving to try and prevent the little guy from getting over to the bed, where apparently he'll be home free once he gets there. And it starts kind of stomping down the hallway. What do the And actually, yeah, he's also going to go ahead and kick at you. Lee, he's going to try and kick you away.
Ah!
As he kicks a baby. What a horrible person. I assume a 23 hits. That's a really good roll.
Yeah.
You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you're kicked and kind of sent back a few feet from the length of it as he knocks you away, and then he steps off towards the Mort, who's trying to get to the bed, who seems almost there at this point. That is going to provoke an opportunity attack from you, Runefang, if you would like to make one.
You're not going anywhere.
10 unfortunately miss. Actually, no, it does not miss because he doesn't have that bonus. So yeah, 10 just barely hits. It's the bare minimum. Go ahead and roll damage on that. 9 points of piercing damage. He was going to run after the kid, and right as you hit him, right again at ankle height, you see he kind of topples and kind of falls back down onto a knee again. And on his turn, the small baby Mort's just like, can't wait to live here, Dad, and kind of runs into the room ahead, and you just see the other Mort go, no! And Clarence, the stork behind you, calls out, all right, I'm pretty sure he's in the bed. Let's get out of here.
Well,
what do
it
you
was
all?
pleasure doing business with you.
I disagree, he says, as you all, if you would like, can go over and hop onto Clarence, as he seems at this point fairly resigned to his fate.
On her way out the door, Lily shouts back, any idiot can make a baby, but it takes a real man to raise a child.
And he goes, I guess if I really think about it, I did always kind of want a little tyke. He says as you guys are flying off, and he looks down introspectively at your words.
Wait, does he still have the arrow in his knee?
Oh, he definitely has an arrow in his knee. Or it's not like an arrow, like I said, like a lot of the weapons that you have, you're looking at them now and you're realizing that they're kind of almost affected by the spell, like blunted and turned to plastic in different places. So it more kind of bounced off of his knee. And you're slowly learning that adults seem to be immune to some degree to baby damage.
So my broken can opener scimitar has like a child safety lock on it?
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what it is.
Spells are smaller as well.
Yes.
And I now have a twist sword.
And as you're flying away, you hear a sound, Clara, just, oh, my pants! Oh, God, my pants! And you see him running out with his pants are now completely lit on fire, and he's just kind of running around the yard as you fly into the distance.
That goes to say, layer, pants on fire.
That is karma right there.
And Clarence goes, all right, you guys are doing great. Just like one more to go. So this last baby, this little lizard folk type here, who kind of looks just, and this baby seems a lot more normal than the other two babies, and he's just this little lizard baby, who kind of looks over and kind of waves a little bit and smiles.
Lee is gonna hug the shit out of him because that's adorable.
And the little lizard folk arms kind of reach up and try to hug you, but they can't quite figure out how to reach around. And this baby's kind of,
I go up and try to hug him.
he seems to really love all of the affection.
Any hugs?
As you all have a cuddle pile on the way, and it's helpful because it's getting steadily colder as you seem to be flying to the northern part of D&D time, the Candy Kingdom, and there you can start to see kind of an ice cream blizzard starting to rage. You have to bundle up. Clarence had a few blankets in the back, and you find yourselves definitely colder than you normally would be in this kind of environment. Your child immune system is not quite, and constitution is not quite strong enough to resist the chill winds.
Well, since I'm practically a ball of fluff, I'm probably the warmest near.
Yeah, that's probably true. And I guess Runefang also is just a big fluff pile.
Yeah, I'm a big fluffy bunny.
And he kind of is flying, and you find that the winds are getting stronger and stronger, and you're entering into almost a blizzard. And Clarence seems to be having a harder and harder time a harder and harder time kind of keeping himself going and aloft during this storm, as he kind of is starting to spin out of control. He kind of goes, I don't know if I can stay up in this thing. I'm not at 100% right now.
Lily Lee's going to cast guidance on him and just say, you can do it, sweetie, just a little bit farther.
Okay, I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm not making any guarantees. And he is going to make, in that case, a check to see how he's able to do.
Wait, is it all dark?
It is at this point getting fairly late in the night, and it's hard to see any of the little light that would be remaining because of the kind of dense ice cream snow that falls in this part of the kingdom.
Could I cast light on my mace?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give him advantage on his check because of it. So that would have been he still rolled a 5, plus 4, plus an additional 2, so 11. Yeah, he seems to be having a really hard time kind of flying up in this, and he's just kind of steadily going down. He's using his wings to kind of, prevent like a crash landing, and you can see the distant lights of the lizard folk village that you're aiming for, but you kind of end up crushing down to the ground, kind of a beacon in the dark with this light, descending almost like a signal flare a bit outside of the village. And as you do so, you kind of crash down into what appears to be, or very near, you can hear the sound of splashing and running water as you're very near a river that seems to be running a bright red color. And for any of you familiar with the Candy Kingdom, you would know this to be the Kool-Aid River. And
I've never been here. It seems so
neither.
Interesting.
Yes, and the snow around you, of course, is an ice cream snow. Although, if any of you go to kind of taste it, you find that it tastes completely flavorless. It's just sweet. It's actually surprisingly unpleasant for ice cream.
Needs sugar.
Yeah. You continue, and as Clarence kind of reaches and touches down to the ground, he goes, I don't think I can go on anymore. You think you can get this little guy the rest of the way? Village isn't far from here. And he's kind of like completely out of breath.
Lily Lee's gonna wrap him in one of his blankets and be like,
Sure, sweetie, we'll do what we can.
Thank you so much. Feels like you're taking care of me more than I'm supposed to be taking care of the babies, but I feel like the baby, you know?
Wait, he's hurt, right?
Yeah, he was already a little bit hurt going into this.
Can I perhaps cast healing words on him?
Yeah, you can cast healing word on him. Or actually, I'll tell you this. It seems like his injury is one, like, it's like a pretty heavily broken bone. It's something that would take time to heal. He's not necessarily at a hit point deficit. He just needs, like, work to, like, get his leg fixed.
Oh, okay, guess I'll save the spell slot.
Yeah, I'll say you're aware that with your training that probably wouldn't help him out too much in this instance.
Yeah. Also, my mace is a light from the light spell, right?
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, you have this kind of beacon in the dark that's kind of pushing you forward. And as you begin kind of moving, you can kind of hear through the storm, you can also hear something else kind of off the side. You can hear kind of a is the sound that you hear.
Who goes there?
And you hear what sounds like a splashing coming out of the river.
Be he friend or foe?
As you kind of say that, at the edge of the light spell that is being cast here on Claris Mace, you see the beginning of a head, and that is the head of a creature that is a perfect kind of shiny brown color. They appear to be made of chocolate. And as they kind of move forward, you see that their head is very large and elongated, what appears to be a snout of some kind. And you realize that this is the head of some kind of chocolate crocodile, a chocodile, if you will, who is kind of looking at you all very, and eyeing you up as being very appetizing.
Well, that looks both delicious and extremely scary.
Guys, I have animal handling. Perhaps I could tame the beast.
But give it a try.
Anything's worth a try.
Are you going to use guidance in this instance, Lulu?
Oh yeah.
I
So
suspected
she's
that might be the case.
gonna pat them on the shoulder and be like, "It's just an adorable crocodile. You got this."
Yes, I do. I got this.
All right, you move up to the crocodile, and this baby form, which is looking at you, and it's making this kind of low rumbling growl sound. This. Go ahead and make me an animal handling check, and you can add a D4 to your result. A 7, and go ahead and roll me a D4. Ooh, nice, an 11. All right, so as you kind of move up to it, and what do you say? How are you trying to like tame this thing? What are your actions look like?
My friend, we come in peace, and nor are we edible. If you try to eat us, we might accidentally poison you, because we do carry some items that are kind of deadly in digestion. What I'm trying to say is, eat us, and you will have indigestion.
As it kind of lurches forward, you get the impression that it isn't understanding your words, like this is very much an animal, but as it kind of sidles closer to you, like the way you're posturing and the way you're gesturing to it, if anything, it's kind of a little bit confused, and it's stopped at the moment as you guys are kind of edging away from it and around it. But it looks like it could pounce any second. What is everyone else doing?
Oh, I'm getting ready to run with the baby.
You're just going to get ready to book it?
Yep.
All right. Serena, Lily, anything you can do to try and diffuse this situation? Or you also just get ready to just make a run for it?
I'm not gonna do anything quite yet, but she's definitely keeping a wary eye on this thing and making sure everyone kind of gets out of the way.
Okay. Serena?
Serena's gonna try and like just help out with handling the crocodile. She's just gonna be like,
Oh yeah, because you're also very skilled in this category.
yeah, hey, it's okay. You know, we're just passing through. We won't be tasty. I'm sure we're not the kind of flavor you're used to.
All right, why don't you go ahead and also make me another animal handling check. Oh, geez. As you kind of put your hands out, and you're kind of trying to get him to go, nothing tasty. All of a sudden, you just seem to take one step too close, and the crocodile, in an instant, just snaps and starts becoming aggressive towards you as he begins attempting to eat all of you.
I know what I'm gonna do now.
All right.
Seeing this happen, I am going to use up my last spell slot, and I am going to cast Animal Friendship.
Okay. At this point, I would say that he is hostile, so we'll probably have an advantage.
Okay.
Unless it. But what is the save that he's going to make?
I believe it is a wisdom. Yes, a wisdom save.
Okay. Oh wait, no, that's the giant wolf spider. That was the wrong thing. Whoops. Try again. Yes, unfortunately, I think it's actually, what's your spell save DC?
12.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was going to succeed as you go and try and use this last-minute action against it, and it is going to make a bite attack right against you, Serena, for 14. Does a 14 hit?
No.
A 14 misses. All right, its big kind of jaws snap down and go to wrap around you. However, that is going to, I think, kick off another initiative in this particular instance, as this crocodile is trying to gobble y'all up. So go ahead and roll me. Actually, since the crocodile went first, I'll say that that's this creature's turn. He got the first initiative because of the situation, and then it'll just be all of you. So we'll use the same order from last time. Why don't you take it away, Lily? Or actually, you also used your action, your ready to action. So it would be out. So that's going to bring us in that case to Serena.
I'm like right on top of the crocodile, right?
Yeah, he's like trying to bite onto you. The jaws just snap down a little bit to your right as you kind of dodged agilely out of the way.
Okay, Serena's gonna disengage and run away.
All right, excellent. You're running. As you move kind of through the snow, your kind of baby legs are pushing you away, and you're finding like you're getting the impression it's going to be a little bit hard without some way to slow it down to outstrip this crocodile for speed. But you do, at the moment, you are completely out of the threat range of it, and there are definitely people that you'll be more focused on than you. Anything else on your turn? Or I guess that's probably all you have time for, is disengaging.
Yeah.
In that case, Runefang, what do you want to do?
I'll pick up the lizard folk baby and try and get as much distance between the baby and the crocodile.
Okay, yeah, you just pick up the baby and dash away. You're even a little bit farther away now than Serena, and so that's going to bring us to Clara. Clara, what do you want to do?
Where is everyone?
Everyone is. You are the closest to the crocodile right now. You and Lily.
All right. I just zoom right up in the air.
Oh, okay. You just fly. How high? Or I guess you can go about. Are you going as high as you can?
Enough for me to like not get bitten by the crocodile, but enough to have a good enough accuracy.
Okay. In the kind of swirling storm and blizzard, you find it's a little bit harder to fly up. You manage to get up into the sky, but you think it's going to have a little bit of an impact on your ranged attacks in these intense kind of winds that are here amidst this blizzard. Anything else on your turn? Do you still want to make an attack roll?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make me an attack roll.
I
a
use
little bit harder because of... Oh, okay, cool. Sacred Flame.
But on one of the eyes.
All right. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw. 12. What is your spell saving DC?
Spell saving DC?
It's going to be in your spell section in the top right. It'll say spell save DC and give it a number.
Oh, yeah. 13.
13. So he's going to fail. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Okay.
You're going to click it on the front page of the sheet. This is just a weird bug with Roll20. No problem. That's one that literally everyone does all the time. So 5 points of damage. Crocodile kind of burns, and as it hits the crocodile, the tiny flame kind of spreads a little bit. It seems like your baby form attacks are actually fully effective against this individual for whatever reason. Perhaps because it's not an adult is the only thing that you could think of. And that's probably it for your turn. Lily, what do you want to do?
So she's going to kind of help to fight it back, and she's going to use the poison spray cantrip on it.
All right. Throw it up for me, and I'll have Dex save, which... Oh, wait, no, it's not Dex save. I was looking at the wrong thing. Unless it is a Dex save, in which case 10. That's probably Constitution.
For some reason, it's having trouble posting it for me.
Yeah. Are you doing it on the front of the character sheet?
Nope, hold on.
Oh, yeah, do it there.
Okay.
There it is. Constitution save. Oh yeah, it definitely succeeds that one. That's a very good roll. It avoids your 5 points of piercing damage, poison damage. Do you want to also kind of run up with the pack?
Yeah.
Okay. So the crocodile kind of lumbers along the ground and is going to go after. Is next going to go after you, Runefang. Actually, no, you're the farthest ahead, so it's actually going to go up against you, Lily. It's going to try and bite you for 22.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
You take 4 points of piercing damage. It doesn't feel sharp. The damage feels actually like bludgeoning damage as the teeth hit you, which is odd, but you are also grappled as you're now kind of stuck in the crocodile's jaws.
Go on ahead without me. Get that baby home.
Oh, no!
Behind.
That is going to be all for the crocodile's turn. Serena, what do you want to do?
Serena's gonna cast Ensnaring Strike and then shoot her longbow at the...
All right, it's going to make a strength saving throw?
Yes.
Or you have to hit, I guess, with it first. So
yeah.
We're going to make the attack roll. All right, definitely hits. Roll damage. And it's going to make a strength saving throw, correct? Which it definitely fails, it looks like. And he takes an additional 2 points of damage and is now restrained as these vines whip up out of the ground and wrap around the Chocodile, who kind of lets out a little bit of a cry. And anything else on your turn? Going to keep running or stay where you are? Or?
I think she's gonna keep running.
Okay, and you take off and keep going. That is going to bring us then to Runefang. What do you want to do?
Continue heading towards the village.
All right, you just continue to book it. That's going to bring us to Clara.
Wait, the Chocodile is completely made of chocolate, right?
That it does appear to be the case, yes.
And the eye that I used the Sacred Flame on, is it melting?
Yeah, where the sacred flame kind of hit, bits of chocolate are dripping down and melting for sure.
Oh, it's partially blind, right?
Yeah, for the record, just for like things like Sacred Flame, you generally can't target quite that much. So I mean, it's definitely not in a good shape in that regard. But I wouldn't say it was like affected by a blinded condition or anything like that.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think for a moment. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on the other eye.
Okay. Have them make a dexterity saving throw.
No, wait. Actually, I'm gonna try to use my light crossbow on the eye that I already casted Sacred Flame on.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll. 23 definitely is going to hit as you kind of pull back the crossbow and it flies and you see it kind of hit the point on the eye where you'd already kind of melted a little bit, and it just kind of seeps in as it kind of sinks into the now melting chocolate even deeper. That's a pretty good hit. Go ahead and roll damage on that. Yeah, this chocolate crocodile is actually looking pretty beat up. It seems like your attacks are being a lot more effective against this thing than they were against the guy before. That is going to bring us then to, or do you want to move or stay where you are? Sorry.
Move a bit to the other eye. Like, move around.
All right, so you're just repositioning a little bit in the sky. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's going to bring us then to Lily. What do you want to do?
Oh, she's kind of hurting, so she's gonna hang back and she's gonna try. Oh no, wait, she's still in its mouth, isn't she?
Yeah, you're grappled.
Oof. Okay. Since she's in its mouth, she's gonna try casting poison spray right into its throat.
Oh Jesus! All right, it's gonna make a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, definitely fails that one. Go ahead and roll damage on that one for me. 2 points of poison damage. As you just kind of breathe poison down in this creature's mouth, you're kind of... and it's gonna, on its turn, it is going to... it's going to try and get out of the restraints that are holding it down. It's going to use a strength check to try and do that, which it fails. It's still kind of tangled up in these vines. It's thrashing about, trying to get out. It looks very near to defeated. Runefang and Serena, it is both of your turns. You're far enough away that you could kind of run away from this creature, but you see that Lily is still kind of trapped in the jaws, and you also see that, but you do have Clara fighting it still. What do the two of you want to do?
Runefang will hand the baby over to Serena and book it back towards his friend Lily.
Serena, do you take the baby?
Serena's gonna take the baby, and the spiders are gonna curl around it.
All right. Yeah, the baby doesn't seem to mind the spiders. They don't have any of those. They don't have any problem with spiders. They haven't been taught to hate spiders. And the baby just kind of...
and then Serena's gonna like run towards where the village is supposed to.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty close at this point. You can see the lights of it in the distance. As you book off with your kind of package towards the village, you ensuring kind of success for this venture, no matter what at this point with this action. And Runefang, you start moving over back towards your allies. Clara, what do you want to do?
How thick is the snout?
I mean, it's kind of a regular. Imagine like a regular sized crocodile.
Could I try to melt it off?
Yeah, go ahead and you want to use Sacred Flame again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try Sacred Flame
All right.
in the mouth.
It's gonna make another dexterity saving throw, which it fails again. Man, crocodile's having a rough time on these saves. Go ahead and roll damage on that for me. 2 more points of radiant damage. The Sacred Flame kind of burns, the blinding radiant light kind of flashing in that space. The crocodile groans, but it's not quite defeated yet, although it is very close. As it moves on to Lili's turn, what do you want to do?
She doesn't even care that she's still in this thing's mouth. She's gonna poison spray it again.
All right, con save. 16, I think, succeeds.
It does, yes.
At this point, the crocodile doesn't seem to care that it's being grappled, and is going to make an attack against you for 14. Well, actually, it has disadvantage because it's
At
restrained.
the start of its turn, it's supposed to take a 1d6 from the instant.
Oh, it does that every turn?
Yeah.
Oof. We'll go ahead and roll the 1d6 for me right now. Never. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. The crocodile goes to bite down on you when you watch as these kind of thorned vines that are wrapped around it from Serena's spell kind of twist and carve into it, and the crocodile kind of like gets tear apart. You see it's kind of now dripping chocolate sauce-like blood, and it kind of just collapses, now defeated, and you are all free to move away from this creature, as it is now slain.
Woo!
I say to the crocodile in kind of a sad tone. You could have had a chance, my friend. You could have had a chance.
Very good. The crocodile is unable to respond as it has left this mortal coil, but I am sure that it was. I'm sure that it would have understood, if it had been able to hear. And with that, you eventually make it to the village. You can see that there's actually an older kind of lizard folk woman who's kind of waiting on the outskirts, and as you approach kind of says, "I've been waiting all night. Is everything all right? Is my baby safe?"
Yes.
And Serena, you're kind of the first to arrive with the bundle in your arms, and she kind of looks down to you and goes, May I take my child?"
I'm supposed to deliver it to a bed, not a person.
"I know that that's protocol. I just wanted to. All right, let's go to the bed." And you carrying it down to the very letter, the fastidiousness one would expect of an adventure of Bartholomew's shop. You bring the baby over to a bed, and then the woman kind of instantly scoops the baby out of the bed after it's put in, and kind of picks it up and cuddles it close. But with that, Clarence comes up to all of you. "Hey, you all did like a really great job on that adventure. I gotta say, I really appreciate the way that you stepped in for me and helped me. I'm in a lot of pain, so I might rest here for a little while, but I imagine we'll get you back to Bartholomew's shop pretty quick."
Yeah, I kind of like it here. Besides, I want to go salvage some of that chocolate.
It was fun to help you. Thank you.
No, I suppose thank you. And of course, I believe I owe you some money. And he gives each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks, and you each gain 1 point of experience, which means that if you were level 1, you are now level 2. And with that, you have succeeded in this first adventure, although you are still babies, and you're not sure what's going to be able to happen with that. But for now, you hope that Bartholomew's other adventurers are in the process of figuring that particular predicament out. And that's all. Thank you all very much for playing.